Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Red, and today I've got something really exciting for you. We're diving into the heart of my personal computer. Yep, you heard it right. The setup I use every single day for gaming, school, editing, and everything in between. You know, a lot of people only see the PC from the outside, but today I'm giving you an inside look at five important technological components that keep my system running smoothly. These are the parts that hold the magic behind the scene. So if you ever wondered what powers a computer or, you know, maybe you're planning to build or upgrade your own, stick around because we're breaking it all down in a simple and fun way. Let's get started.
Tracker 1, the monitor.
Alright, guys, let's start with one of the most important parts of my whole setup, the monitor. A lot of people think the monitor is just a screen we look at, but honestly, it does way more than we give it credit for. This is basically the window to everything my PC does. Without it, all the power inside the computer means nothing because I won't be able to see or control any of it. Now, what I really like about my monitor is how it balances clarity and comfort. When I'm using my computer for long hours, whether it's doing schoolwork, watching videos, or playing games, the display quality makes a huge difference. A good monitor can literally change the whole experience. Mine has really clean visual, nice brightness, and colors that don't look washed out. It's not super high-end gaming monitor or anything fancy, but it gets the job really very well. What makes monitor important is their resolution. Mine displays image clearly enough for what I need. So when I'm editing videos, reading text, or doing tabs, everything looks sharp and easy to read. Even in gaming, the details look smooth. And honestly, that smoothness helps with eye comfort. Because if you're starting to see a very low quality, trust me, you're gonna feel the strain. Another thing I appreciate is the screen size. It's big enough to multitask without feeling cramped, but not too big. Take it up with the whole table. When you're working with a multiple windows or doing research, having the extra space will help. I can pull up my notes on the other side and my work on the other. And then watching movies or video size just make it more immersive. So let's talk about the refresh rate because that's something people often overlook. My monitor isn't one of those crazy 144Hz gaming display, but it's smooth enough for daily use and light gaming. I don't feel any heavy lag or tearing when I move my mouse or scroll through the pages. It's responsive, and that responsiveness is important, especially if you're doing tasks that needed precision. Color accuracy is another underrated thing. Colors on my monitor look natural, not too saturated, not too dull. That really helps when I'm adjusting the thumbnails or checking video brightness for my uploads. What I see in the screen is close to what the final output looks like, which saves me a lot of time. And of course, the design of the monitor matters too. It's slim, it's clean, and it doesn't take up as much space. The stand is stable so it doesn't shake when I'm typing. It is also nicely fit with the rest of my setup actually, making everything look organized instead of messy. So overall, my monitor might not be the most expensive or high-tech model out there, but it's definitely one of the components I appreciate the most. It affects how comfortable I am, how productive I can be, and how much I enjoy using my PC. Without a good monitor, even the best computer won't feel right. So this is definitely one of the key technologies in my setup, and I'm so glad it performs as well as it does.
2, the keyboard.
Next up, let's talk about another super important part of my PC setup, my keyboard. Now, a lot of people think too much about their keyboard because it's just look like a bunch of buttons, right? But once you actually use a computer every day, you start to realize how much your keyboard affects your speed, comfort, and even your productivity. So my keyboard is the one I use for everything. Typing, schoolwork, chatting, gaming, editing, you name it. And honestly, it plays a huge role in how smooth my whole computer experience feels. The layout is simple and easy to get used to. Everything is exactly where I expect it to be, so my fingers just move without thinking. That muscle memory is important because when you're typing fast or in the middle of the game, you don't want to keep looking down. One thing I really like is how responsive keys are. They're not stiff, not too soft, just enough to feedback to feel satisfying when I press them. Some keyboards feel mushy or slow, which makes typing harder and less comfortable. But with mine, each click feels clean. It's the kind of keyboard that doesn't get in your way. You just sit down, type, and it works. And one more thing. Another thing to talk about is the key travel. That's basically how far the key goes down when you press it. Mine has a moderate key travel, so it doesn't feel tiring to type for long periods of time. When I'm writing long assignments or scripts like this one, the keyboard doesn't hurt my fingers or make me feel uncomfortable, which is a big plus actually. So let's also mention the keyboard's noise. The keyboard isn't super loud like some mechanical keyboards, but it's not completely silent either. It has this slight clicking sound that makes typing a bit more satisfying, but too noisy that it would annoy people around me. It's nice balance, and honestly, there's something motivating about hearing your keys as you work. It feels like you're actually getting stuff done. And of course, the built-in shortcuts are really helpful. Things like volume control, brightness adjustment, or shortcut for media. Playback make it, everything easier. I don't have to reach for the mouse every second because the keyboard lets me control a lot of things instantly with just one or two presses. It's small details like that make the experience smoother. And before that, there's actually another feature I appreciate is the overall design. It's slim, lightweight, and doesn't take too much disk space. It fits cleanly with my setup and it's easy to clean. Just a quick brush and it looks new again. The spacing between the keys is also perfect for me. I don't accidentally hit the wrong keys, which happens a lot on a cramped keyboards. Finally, let's talk about the durability. This keyboard has been through so much. Multiple school projects, gaming sessions, late night typing, and it's still working perfectly. No keys are ticky, none are fading, and everything functions like the day I got it. Reliability is what makes it such an important part of my setup. Even if the internal components of the PC are powerful, you won't enjoy using them without a dependable cable. So overall, my keyboard might be simple, but it's one of the most essential technologies I use every single day. It's comfortable, responsive, and durable. It makes everything I do on my computer easier.
3. The mouse.
Alright guys, moving on to the next essential part of my setup. That is my mouse. Now, the mouse might look like a simple device, but trust me, without it, using a computer would feel 10 times harder. It's one of those components that we use constantly clicking, scrolling, dragging, selecting, and we barely notice how important it is. So, this is the mouse I use every day in the computer. It fits really comfortably in my hand. And the first thing I want to talk about it is about the comfort. A good mouse should feel natural because if you're on your PC for hours, doing schoolwork, browsing, or gaming, your hand can get tired really quickly. With mine, the shape is simple. It's easy to grip, and I don't feel any strain even after a long use. And another big advantage of using a mouse is the position. When you're editing videos, selecting text, or adjusting tiny details, the mouse makes everything more accurate. Touchpads can work, but they are nowhere near as precise as an actual mouse. Even something as simple as dragging a window or right-clicking becomes faster and smoother. And of course, the scroll wheel is a huge plus. Whether I'm scrolling through long documents, browsing social media, or reading articles, the scroll wheels makes everything effortless. It's one of those small features that has a big impact on its productivity. And also another advantage is the speed. With a mouse, I can move around quickly, switch tabs instantly, or perform action much faster compared to using just the keyboard or a touchpad. It really boosts efficiency actually. Now let's talk about advantages for gaming too. Even if you're just a occasional gamer, a mouse gives you way more control. Aiming, moving, and reacting are smoother because the mouse responds directly to your hand movement. But of course, no device is perfect. So let's talk about few disadvantages. One disadvantage is a disk space. A mouse needs room to move around. If your table is small or cluttered, it can be hard to use it properly. You have to constantly to adjust or lift your mouse when you run out of space. And there's also another disadvantages, the wire. If your mouse is wired, wires can sometimes get tangled, caught up to some things, which can be annoying, especially when you're trying to move quickly. Wireless mouse solve this problem, but that introduces another issue. Batteries. If it runs on batteries, you need to replace or recharge them, and sometimes the mouse can lag when the battery gets low. Another downside is that a mouse isn't very portable. If you're using a laptop and you want to move around, you still have to bring the mouse with you. It's an extra item to pack and carry compared to the built-in touchpad, actually. And lastly, some mouse can become less accurate over time. The sensor gets dusty or the feet might wear down, making movement less smooth. But for me, overall, the advantages definitely outweigh the disadvantages. My mouse makes everything faster, smoother, and more comfortable, whether I'm editing, browsing, or gaming. It's one of those tools that makes my whole PC experience much better. With one small downside, it's a device I can't go without.
4. The HDMI cable.
Now, let's move on to another important but often overlooked part of my setup, the HDMI cable. Simple wire, but this little thing is actually a bridge that connects my computer to my monitor. Without it, I literally wouldn't have a display. No screen, no visuals, no computer experience. So it's definitely deserves some attention. My HDMI cable is what transfers both audio and video from my PC to my monitor. That's one of the biggest advantages of HDMI. It handles both signals in one cable. So instead of dealing with separate wires for sounds and visuals, everything passes through this single connection, making the setup cleaner and more convenient. Another advantages of HDMI is the quality. It delivers high definition video, which is why my monitor shows clear images and vibrant colors and smooth visuals. Whether I'm watching videos, doing schoolwork, or playing games, the HDMI cable ensures that the signal stays sharp, stable. No red color issues, no blurry graphics, just a clean, solid connection. One thing I also appreciate about HDMI is that it's plug and play. Plug and play. You don't need drivers, software, or any complicated setup. Just plug one end into the PC and the other to the monitor, and boom, it works. That simplicity is a huge plus, especially if you're someone who moves your setup around or switches between devices. And also, another advantage is its compatibility. HDMI works with so many devices: PCs, laptops, gaming consoles, projectors, and even some tablets. If I ever want to connect my PC to a bigger screen or show something on a TV, all I need is this one cable. But just like any technology component, HDMI cables also come with a few disadvantages. First, the length limitation. HDMI signals weaken if the cable is too long. So, if your monitor is far from your computer, a regular HDMI cable might not work well. So, longer cables can also get expensive. Another disadvantages of it is cable durability. The connector can get loose or damaged if you keep plugging and unplugging it. Sometimes the cable bends behind the monitor, which can affect the signal over time. And once it gets faulty, you'll start noticing a flickering screens, random blackouts, or even complete loss of display. And there's also the issue of port sensitivity. HDMI ports, the ports, can get worn out or loose, especially if the cable isn't supported properly. A damaged port is harder to fix than replacing the cable itself. And lastly, HDMI cables don't lock in, as you can see. They slide in, so if the cable gets pulled by accident, your screen might suddenly go black. It's not a huge issue actually, but it's something that happens. So, overall, the HDMI cable is one of the most important pieces of my PC setup. It's simple, reliable, and it delivers a great quality without making things complicated. Even with a few small disadvantages, it does its job perfectly. Without this cable, my computer would just be a quiet box with no display. So yeah, shout out to the HDMI cable for keeping everything connected and running smoothly.
5 CPU tower.
Alright guys, for the last part of this vlog, let's talk about the most important part of my whole setup, the CPU tower. This is basically the powerhouse in the computer. Everything I do, opening apps, running programs, watching videos, even just moving the mouse starts right here inside this box. Inside the tower are the main components. The processor, which handles all the thinking. The RAM, which helps with multitasking. The storage, where all my files stay. And also last one is the motherboard, which connects everything together. And the power supply, which gives the whole system the energy it needs. Even if the tower looks simple, on the outside, there's a lot going on inside. What I like about having a CPU tower is the performance and flexibility. It can handle multiple tasks smooth. And it doesn't overheat easily because it has a good airflow. Whether I'm doing schoolwork, gaming, or watching videos, the tower keeps everything running stable and fast. Another big advantage is that it's actually upgradable. If I ever need more power, I don't have to buy a whole new computer. I can just upgrade the RAM, storage, and the processor, or even add a graphics card. It's a device that can grow with me, actually. But of course, it has a few downsides, and mainly the size itself, and also the maintenance. It takes up space and you need to clean it sometimes, but honestly, those are actually a small issues compared to the performance it gives. So overall, the CPU tower is the heart of my setup. It's powerful, reliable, upgradable, and it brings all the other components together. Without it, none of the other tech would work. So, and that's it for today's video, guys. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this vlog, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.